Hi guys, welcome back to this weekly outlook. Let's get started. So, starting with the EuroCAD, um, this trade was on last Friday, weekly outlook. I'm not too sure if I shared this trade before last weekly outlook or after, but it was pretty much a trade that was going with the trend, so an uptrend. And all I want to say now that is that EuroCAD is now almost switching to a bearish structure after breaking this level of support and resistance with this most recent break with very fast candles. There's a very high chance that price will react from here and continue to drop all the way down and potentially form a new downtrend. So if price breaks one more key level, then I'll be looking for an entry, a potential trade to go short once we break this new level of structure. Because after breaking one more level, in this case, we will definitely be in a downtrend scenario, and we will be trading with the trend, looking for trades to go short. So yeah, we only have to wait for a trend to finally establish after this first break. That's the analysis on EuroCAD. Euro GBP, I'm waiting currently on this break retest to go long. Price almost hit the level. It almost went to the level. It just continue higher from here, so too bad. But this zone is still valid. If price pulls back one more time and goes deeper on this key level, testing this key level and this 61.8 fib, then this will be a potential entry scenario to go long. Reason being, we are on a clear uptrend on Euro GBP on pretty much H4 timeframes, H1, H2, pretty much all the middle time frame and lower time frames are bullish. We also had a very strong break on the last key level, so which is a very good signal for potential trade to go long, to have a strong, clean swing forming the break of the last zone. So I always look for this strong impulse and slower retest when looking for key setups. So in this case, I'm just waiting for this one more pullback and rejection on this key area for a potential trade to go long. We have to wait for this one. Probably will happen next week if price manages to pull back. Euro JPY, I'm looking for a potential entry. At this point, probably next week. I don't want to enter the market now on Friday or market closure, but next week I'll be looking for an entry to go long on Euro JPY as we have retested this zone. We can definitely say price retested very precisely with this week. Also testing the 61.8, price had multiple reactions. So after this long, strong reaction, it was too much to enter here because if I place my long position here, the risk reward will be too low. And although it makes sense to enter here or from a uptrend perspective, for a trend following perspective, it's still better after this strong rejection without any retracement whatsoever to look for an entry with a buy limit, which is usually what I do in these cases. And I'll be setting a buy limit and market open on Sunday. Um, there's a chance this price might fill this price area. I want to avoid taking the swap and the spreads of the over the weekend. And also, I don't want to risk it having to deal with potential gaps. So as soon as market opens, I might be considering opening this trade to go long, especially if price pulls back on this level, on this let's say retest. You can see the level more clearly on lower time frames. So pretty much I'm entering a buy limit here after the entry indication on this zone. I'm just wait for now. UNZD, yeah, this was shared on not the last weekly outlook, but maybe two outlooks ago. Actually, yeah, I think 2 weeks ago, and it's running nicely. It's very slow, so if you might as well close it here if you have net negative swaps on your position. If you have too many commissions, we are very close to the target anyway. So if you don't want to hold over the weekend, you can close the position here, or you can just keep holding to the target with a stop loss set to break even. Uh, the USGT is not really anything. Yeah, GBP uh, this is very confusing. It's not really a setup. I mean, what I want to say for GBPUD is that price is forming this bearish structure on lower time frames, but on the H4, we're still in this range and on overall uptrend on the longer term. We are pretty much on an uptrend. Um, as well as price testing these major inverse head and shoulders. So it's kind of risky entering short here. I just want to share this. Um, but still, we have to see. If price breaks below this low, there will be a potential downtrend scenario, just like EuroCAD. So I'm waiting for potentially one more break to be more safe. Although there's still a chance that price might still continue rejecting this zone and drop. Um, so yeah, I just want to share that this is a bit of a risky scenario if you want to go short. It makes sense, but it's a bit risky. And yeah, that's all. GBP CAD, just like EuroCAD. This is much better though because we already formed the multiple breaker retests to go short. Also feel like here we have taken out this high with a strong rejection. So this setup is much more valid than for as a breaker retest to go short compared to EuroCAD and compared to GBPUD. So I'm potentially considering a trade to go short once price pulls back on this level. So if price pulls back on this level, we have a bearish structure, as you can see, lower lows, lower highs. We have the key level, and we have a very strong break to the downside with a slow pullback potentially. So those are all good scenarios for a potential trade to go short. So I'm just waiting for price to pull back on this key level. If it gives us an entry indication and a rejection on this level, then we are good to go for a trade to go short. When I say entry indication, I always mean rejection weeks or any sort of bearish engulfing candle. GBP JPY, we have potential trade to go long. So pretty much on the higher time frame, we have a clear uptrend with higher highs and higher lows. Price tested this level of support and resistance, which is more of a higher time frame level. And after testing this level, it rejected with a very strong momentum. Um, Taking out those highs here, so making a new high with a very strong impulse. So in this case, all I'm waiting for is this sort of inverse head and shoulder scenario where price could be retesting. So if price retests back on the skid zone, we will go for a potential trade to go long in line with the overall trend. So the trend is clearly bullish on the higher time frame. So the trend after this small pullback of let's say small downtrend, also on the lower time frame, price finally aligned on a uptrend after this break. So I'm just considering to enter here on this neckline retest. So the neckline being this level here, which is a level of the inverse head and shoulders. This is the left shoulder head. I'm now looking for a potential right shoulder test for a trade to go long. So that's the plan on the GBP JPY. GBP and ZD, yeah, after taking those setups to a short, yeah, pretty much the first one got out at break even, the second one got to target. So break even it got out around here. Um, Now the structure is more of a, on the bullish side. It's still indecisive. It's not really a trend. You can see that price is kind of sideways um, since April. I mean, in April it was on a downtrend, but now it's been sideways after considering this whole price range. So I'm just waiting for a clear trend. Again, on this one, on the GBP NZD, we formed a sort of not really an inverse range shoulder, but definitely price breaking out of this high, forming a new high, testing below here. So definitely a potential for this move, but not really calling out any trade in this scenario because we don't have a clear trend. USD CAD, this setup was shared on last weekly outlook, and I got out at break even in this case. I which is kind of sad because yeah, this was shared actually on Friday. I could have probably closed around here before market closure, but I just wanted to wait for a potential take profit to be hit, and instead I got out at break even. But yeah, pretty much the analysis is shared on the last weekly outlook. You can rewatch the YouTube video. You can see that this trade was shared live when price was here, and price almost hit the target. It went for a almost 1 to 2 restore ratio. When you're so close to the target and you're above 1 and 1.5 restore ratio, well, you always want to move the stop loss to break even just to be safe. And it was a good choice because I didn't take any loss in this scenario. But yeah, just wanted to do a recap on the trade shared last Friday. At the moment, I'm not really waiting for any trade on USD CAD. USD CHF, I missed this entry. I didn't really catch it because I felt like this was too aggressive, as this retest was very aggressive. But actually, it respected many of the rules, as we had this most recent level, the 61.8. We have a strong break on this level and retest and continuation. This was more of a confirmation because this bearish candle is on a very strong bullish candle. It's kind of aggressive to enter on this bearish candle, but definitely after this strong rejection here, this strong bearish candle, this could have been a potential entry to go short. Uh, so yeah, now it's kind of late. I wouldn't really enter, and it's not really the best setup anyway. USD JPY, yeah, this is also similarly to GBP JPY. We went from a downtrend scenario. This could have been a setup if you call these head and shoulders. Retest back, break below this level. We're now trending higher, making a new high here, breaking out of this high, and this high, and testing potential, also testing this zone with a rejection. I'm not really calling out any trade, but there's a potential of price forming a new uptrend, continuing higher. So if price breaks above this level, I might be considering a trade to go long in this case. AUDCHF, yeah, this case we actually missed the trade setup by a few pips based on the daily time frame, of course. So now I would say this setup is not valid anymore, so I wouldn't really look to enter in this setup anymore. As it pretty much pull back without fully retesting that zone. AUD-USD, yeah, I believe, I'm not too sure that if this was shared. Yeah, actually, Friday. Yeah, actually, this was shared on last week. Yeah, look. Um, I'm a bit confused always because I use two different TradingView accounts. So yeah, but pretty much this was analyzed on the last weekly outlook and it respected the analysis very well, rejected on the level and also rejected on 61.8. You can see that price didn't even close. It closed above the 61.8 and above the level with a strong rejection and a bullish engulfing candle. This is a pretty much straightforward trade to go long. And if you didn't want to enter the trade because it was over the weekend holding, you could have re-entered around here after price pullback on the candle. around here. So definitely this was a price respected analysis. I didn't take any trade though in this case. KJPY, this was shared on last weekly outlook. I said that a price was going to retest on this neckline, reject, and continue higher. Instead, price rejected, not really clearly. We don't have a like all the bearish candles are stronger than a bullish candle, except from this scenario and this scenario. So you could have entered here. In this case, you will probably be stopped out at break even. In this case, or you could have entered like around here. And in this case, this would have been a stop loss. So either a break even or a stop loss in this scenario, based on the analysis provided last week. But overall, it still respected the zone and rejected from the zone. Instead, it tested the these sort of key areas here and dropped, forming a new low. And we're now back to the higher side, making a new high after NFP. NFP caused a very strong CAD yesterday. So this moment, just looking for a pullback on this zone to potentially evaluate a trade to go long from here. SPX and Nasdaq, they are both currently testing a level, although on SPX is not really that strong, so I would really avoid taking a trade here. And Nasdaq is much better. If we have a strong rejection with a bullish engulfing candle, especially on the M30, then there will be a potential scenario to go long on Nasdaq. So you want to monitor these trades mostly on market open on Sunday. I couldn't go live. I can't go live on Sunday, so that's why I'm doing this live on Friday. This way you are well equipped for next week market open and the beginning of next week. So that's pretty much all the trades I wanted to cover. On gold, I don't really see much at the moment. Yeah, I don't really see much any opportunity on gold. So yeah, that's pretty much all the trades I wanted to cover. We covered a lot of potential trades or yeah, scenarios where are not trade yet, like this case, but there could be potentially good trades in the future. So yeah, it was great having you here on this live session. As always, this is recorded, so you can rewatch. And I'll talk to you guys on the next weekly outlook. Bye bye. Join message me on Discord. You have my Discord handle if you join the Discord channel, and I can help you.